All right, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm gonna do a little bit of yapping, so bear with me. But this is something that I didn't think I wanted to really talk about on the channel. It's not. I don't want to really turn my YouTube channel into a commentary channel. I mean, I understand that I could probably be good at it, but it's just not my intention with this channel. But for this particular thing, I felt like I really wanted to come on here and talk about it because I have a little bit of a certain passion for it. So we're going to be talking about the Logan Paul situation that, well, if you know, you know. So Logan Paul, obviously, we all know who he is. Giant YouTuber. He's, giant content creator, influencer, famous, whatever you want to call him, right? WWE star, whatever you want to call him, whatever compliments, give him whatever compliments you want to give him, because I'm about to shit on this guy. Logan Paul was posted something on his socials where he basically purchased two Shonen Jump manga magazines of Dragon Ball as the cover and Luffy or One Piece as the cover. Two pivotal Shonen Jump magazines that I guess got graded and was a grade 9 for one of them and a 9.8 for the other. Population 1 for 1. One of them, I'm pretty sure, was the Dragon Ball one. And to nobody's surprise, that post received a pretty astounding negative reaction online for a lot of people, considering that, well, anime is very popular. Anime has been on a rise since I was a kid. I remember growing up. If you talked about, I don't want to say you got bullied, but I mean, like, people didn't really avidly talk about anime or reading manga or stuff like that at all when I was growing up. People were kind of just like, okay, this dude's a little bit of a nerd. But now it's like commonplace, and now everybody really loves anime and really loves, especially post-COVID. And I'm not even going to hate on that. I'm not even going to say nothing. I actually find it really cool that people are getting into the hobby or just in general into the medium and are enjoying it for what it is, because manga and anime have lived way back when, since Osamu Tezuka decided to start animating things and posting it. You know what I mean? Like, he completely revolutionized it, but we're not going to do a history lesson here. But it's been there for like a long time, has rivaled Disney, has always been at the top, and has always been, in my opinion, considered some of the best forms of art expression in general. Sequential visual storytelling for manga and just animation in general for anime. So it's definitely got its own fan base. So obviously, when you get a guy like Logan Paul, who has been notorious and known for, well, let's just call a spade a spade. He has literally scammed millions of people multiple times, and will try to probably say that he did not do it. And I'm not going to get into details of that, because I don't want no legality stuffs coming in here. I know Logan Paul is also very sensitive, and he'll probably, if he sees this on or off stream, probably shoot me a legal strike for defamation or something. I don't know. I don't know with that guy. But for the most part, people didn't have anything nice to say for his purchase of these Shonen Jump magazines, for good reason. And let me tell you why, okay? I love Dragon Ball. I grew up with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was the inspiration for me to actually, well, do art. I had always been practicing and loving art since I was a kid, but when I watched Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z specifically, when I was a kid, when it got localized here in the West, and it was on Toonami, and even before then, the Ocean dub. It wasn't even on Toonami. It was like on early in the day, like midday, with the Ocean dub. If you guys know, you know, because it had the Rock the Dragon sound. Rock the Dragon Ball Z, like that. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? But when that dropped, it just completely changed my perception of art, and I wanted to do whatever the hell Dragon Ball Z was doing, visually, storytell wise, stylistically, art, like all of that, I wanted to incorporate into my art. That was what defined me at that point. And then when I went to Food for Less with my mom, I would help her with groceries. I saw a magazine there called Shonen Jump. It had Goku in the front, lost my mind. I wasn't we weren't necessarily the richest people. We weren't poor, but I mean, like, we weren't rich, and I couldn't really get the magazine. But I sure as hell told my mom I had to go to the bathroom, go to that little magazine spot, and just read it. If I couldn't buy it, at least, god damn it, I was gonna read it. And one other thing that I noticed in there, or when the first Shonen Jump magazine I was able to get had Bleach in it, had a Bleach manga in it. I remember looking at it and thinking, this looks so sick. It had the swords, it has the katanas, but I also saw it somewhere else, and it was a late night show on Toonami/Adult Swim, and I remember I was not allowed to stay up that late to watch it, but on the nights that I did, I lost my mind, and I remember reading these mangas, and I remember enjoying the art forms, and just as a person that's been there since I was basically known to have thoughts in my head, it is kind of annoying when somebody comes on to a hobby and doesn't know anything about all of this stuff and decides to make a big purchase and talk about it as if it's like, it just doesn't feel right when Logan Paul specifically is the one that do it, because obviously we saw what he's done with the Pokemon trading card game in general, in terms of making it very, like, he's thrown people like me out of the hobby. Like, I genuinely used to love being into the Pokemon trading card game. I loved collecting cards. I loved it for the love of the game. I loved the cards. I loved the art. I just was a fun hobby. But now it's a gambling thing. Now it's turned into a gambling addiction. And if you're into it, I'm sorry, you're a gambler. That's just what it has turned into, because the prices of these cards are insane or stupid. And I would not, that's why I stopped. When I saw the prices, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying exorbitant amount of money, because at that point, if you're paying that much money, you know what your goal is mentally, is like, well, damn, I spent so much money on this. How can I make that money back? Because we live in a capitalist society, unfortunately. So obviously everything is revolving around money. So when the market price on something goes up, the consumer's thinking, well, damn, now I got to make a buck out of this. So obviously they're going to be chasing that big thing. And it's just like betting on sports. If you bet on a sport, obviously, what's the point of that? You're doing it so that you can possibly get a big return. Obviously, some people do it for the love of the game, but not everybody's there for that. Then 90% of people are doing it to get a profit. And that's exactly what happened to trading card games in general. Obviously, there are still some that's all playable. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is ever going to get to that level, because Yu-Gi-Oh loves to reprint cards. I know Logan Paul, I guarantee you he's going to try to do that with the Yu-Gi-Oh. He's going to try to do exactly what he did with Pokemon and raise the market prices. And that's exactly why people just in general are upset with him purchasing these Shonen Jump magazines, because I feel like it's a bit of a funny, timely thing for him to do. Considering that the Dragon Ball Super card game right now is on 11, prices for the Masters sets of the manga are just gone insane. It's impossible to get at a reasonable price. One Piece right now is off shelves. If you go to like any store, you are not going to see either of these two. One Piece also, once they started dropping manga cards, I don't follow One Piece. I'm not a One Piece fan like that, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about it but I do know trading card games, and when I saw One Piece starting to do manga art on their trading card collections in different sets, those tended to be like really popular in terms of like people liked it. So obviously when they introduced a whole set when Dragon Ball, people went nuts for it. And on top of people just generally going nuts for it, you had scalpers come in and see that and completely like just change the game now. And I think One Piece is slowly going to get to that point, unfortunately. I think you guys better buckle down and get ready, because I think the One Piece trading card game is going to be even more hard to collect. If anything, it's going to be one of, like, the whole trading card game is going to be just what the master set of the Dragon Ball Super card game is, unfortunately. And I'm just letting you guys know because I can see the future. And luckily right now there's other card games. The Digimon card game right now is not changed in terms of price for most of its thing, and I pray that it stays like that. Not that many people are into Digimon like I am, so I'll stick with that card game. Gundam's a fun card game. So there's definitely card games that people can get into that aren't pricey, that are fun, and if people just genuinely want to enjoy the hobby, right? That's where I'm at. I'm not really like, I'm collecting for fun on the side, but it's not going to be like a big thing like it used to be with Pokemon. It's just, I wish I could, but it's just not a profitable thing. It doesn't make sense for me, especially like it's not. It's also just not fun anymore. You know, having to worry about money and having to worry about the price of like in the return and stuff like that. I don't want to have that in the thought of my head constantly. Like before, it was just a fun thing to look at numbers and like be like, wow, this card is worth that much. Now it's like you have no other choice but to look at it that way, and that's what kind of kills the fun. But with the manga stuff, and the reason why I brought those two trading card games up with Dragon Ball and One Piece, let me bring this back. I know you guys thought I lost you. It's very opportunistic for Logan Paul to buy those specific IPs mangas, Dragon Ball and One Piece, the two concurrent trading card games that are making Bandai money. It's very ironic that he bought those specifically. He could have gotten any other Shonen Jump magazine, but obviously he had to get the two ones right now. He could have got Naruto, right? Naruto doesn't have a trading card game right now. He doesn't have a value for that right now. So obviously, what has he got? Dragon Ball and One Piece. And you know what else just recently I noticed got announced? Beckett's grading system for manga. So I'm not saying he's a plant, but I mean, you can put 3 and 2 together and know that it makes 5, right? You guys can figure the math out. I don't need to spell it out for you. It just seems like an opportunistic thing for him to do. It doesn't necessarily seem genuine. Like if this was genuine, I feel like it would have just been out the blue, like random. Like he would have just been like, oh, well, I saw this out the blue and I just decided to buy it. And that's what he's going to make it seem like it is. But then I'll just wait within the next year, things are going to get even worse for certain things. I mean, like, look at that Dragon Ball in general. I know is huge, it's popular, but the scalpers completely are ruining it. And they're going to ruin so many other things because Logan Paul is proponing all of that, like actions, all of that behavior, all of that stuff. Like these things are specifically the millennials, us adults now. Like the only reason why we still like it's so popular is because we grew up with that. Like we grew up with all of it. So it's a part of us. Like that stuff is a part of us. That's why we're still into it. That's why some people are like, oh, you're middle-aged, you're cooked, you're chopped because you're still into this cartoon stuff. We grew up with that. We're the ones that literally pushed it so that now it's commonplace for it to be popular. It wasn't commonplace back in the day. So like it's just really tough when you get somebody else who jumps into a community, says they have love for the game, but you clearly know that they don't know half of the shit that you know. Like, say it with, like, you guys, when it comes to manga, okay, this isn't like this isn't a collectible. It's a book, okay? When it comes to manga, they're books. And what do you do with books? Say it with me, guys. You read them, okay? Like, if you're looking to grade manga, I don't recommend it. And I'm making this video also to finally tell you guys and let you know, if you guys are into the manga hobby and like reading it and like collecting manga to have on your bookshelves, just like any other book, I'm going to let you know, if you see this prices start sparking and slowly climbing up even more now because of what Logan Paul just did, do not buy. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be hard. Be selective. Do not buy as much as you used to. We need to have a response to market situations like this, because if audiences, if fans, if people just decide to go with it and follow these new prices, that's going to be a standard. And with everything going up, you're not going to be able to just have your hobby's fucked. Now your hobby's ruined. Now you can't have that on the side when you come home from your 9 to 5 and try to debrief. You don't have that anymore now. That's gone. Okay? Say that's going to be gone, because right, it jumped from $9.99 to $11.99 right now per manga volume here in the West. I expect that number to possibly up to $12, if not $13 or $14.99 per volume. I know that sounds insane. I'm telling you from the future. Okay? And if we see those prices, if not, fantastic. But if we see those prices jump up to that, I'm saying be selective with your choices. Let these companies know this is not something that we're going with. And like I said, I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because, like, I've seen it, bro. Like, I've seen it growing up. I've seen it millions of times where something becomes a little bit popular and somebody wants to jump on it. And this is just in general, okay? This is not Logan Paul. This is just in general. Somebody wants to jump on it and say, this looks really cool. And they buy, like, exorbitant amounts of lucrative merchandise for said IP, said whatever the hell it is that's popular. And you know what's funny? Half of the people don't even actually read the story, watch the show, and or follow anything. So when you ask them a question, well, you remember when Vegeta killed Kui? Who the what? No, but I do have volume 26 of Dragon. Look at the cover of this. Like, bro, shut the hell up and get the hell out the hobby, okay? I'm sorry. I know a lot of people don't want to gatekeep, and I'm usually not the one to say gatekeep hobbies either. I don't necessarily agree with that, but sometimes it just feels like nowadays it's necessary because stuff like this. You get people that jump in and want to ruin it for the rest of us, and it's unfortunate, and that's why people are upset. You know, like, that's why people are upset. Genuinely, that's why people are mad, because it's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You didn't have to post this. You could have just kept this to yourself if you were like a collector for the love of the game. You you know your audience. You know it's going to reach a large, giant audience. You know what you're doing. You're trying to act stupid. You know you're going to mark up the prices for stuff so that the two purchases that you just made go up in value. It's everyone. If anybody has a brain, they know what you're doing, bro. Like, you're not buying these mangas because you're in it for the love of the game. This is just a marketing tactic for you. And we can all see right through it. And that's why there's negativity being reacted to this Logan Paul thing. And then so he goes on and buys even more and is trying to troll the audiences. And it's working. People are getting trolled. I just wanted to say, like I said, man, it's just like I tell people trading card games in general. Do not settle for scalper prices. Just don't. Just don't do it. It's tough. Trust me. Believe me. I get it. I know. You love it so much you don't want. But you can go without buying that specific thing for that specific price. And if you times 100, times 200, times 1,000 people decide to all do it, they're going to be forced to lower prices. They're just going to have to go off of what people buy. So we can't let motherfuckers like this win. We can't let scalpers win. And this is it's tough, man. So I'm hoping that the prices of manga don't go up. Obviously, there's going to be lunatics online right now you're going to see on eBay or any of these places where you could sell manga. They're going to try to sell it for an exuberant amount of money. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't even think about it. Even if you have the money, even if you're rich and you're watching this and don't do it. You're feeding into a bigger problem. Okay? And I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, I want to talk about it because, like I said, it's something that I'm passionate about. I love manga. I wish to hopefully make a manga of my, or have my manga published. Which, by the way, I have a free prelude if you go to my website, revxart.com, RevxArt.com, where you can read my little manga called Next Gen. First chapter, I believe, is free for free members as well. I don't remember if I did it that way. If not, it's only $1. All you have to do is be a member right now. I'm pretty sure it's $1 right now. It could be $2, but either way, I'm not asking for much in terms of price it's $2. So $2 a month and you get my manga. And if I get more, people who support it, I'll post more chapters and release even more manga. But that's a passion of mine, so that's why I wanted to come on here and talk about it and sort of like just out of respect to the game. So if you watched the video thus far, you let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you agree with everything that I said down below? I wanted to yap a little bit because, like I said, I'm passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with this. This is part of my identity, and, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can judge me however you want to judge me. It's all good. But I just need to be honest about it, and I need y'all to understand where we're at in terms of, like, being fans of certain things and wanting to buy certain things. But anyways, like I said, I can keep going on and on. Be sure to like the video. Every like counts. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. We're very close to 700. Can we make 700 happen? If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, we are so close to 700. You could make that happen now. Let's get to it. All right. I'm going to leave it there. My 90 days are almost done. And when they do, I'll let you know. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.